Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, it's a Monday, so we're back in Rafafofo Geography. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my main channel at Rafafofo1. And as almost always, every Monday, I spin a wheel. And this wheel represents the country that's going to be forming an empire today, and this country is Cambodia. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you guys like how big Cambodia is in real life. I mean, it's not huge, but like it can take up half of Germany, or like all of Austria, or Switzerland, or all of the Benelux, or all of Czechia, Slovakia, Croatia, Bosnia. Like, this is big stuff we're talking about. I mean, every country is big in territory. Even the Vatican is big, but you know, it's bigger than like the Caucasus, you know? Yeah, I just wanted to show you this trick that I found. So let's just get into it. I don't know if we need to say this because we're in Cambodia, but all alliances are going to be disbanded today because war is not accepted in the modern day anymore, like mostly. So that's why we made alliances to stop war from happening. But Cambodia is going to be forming their empire, so alliances are going to be disbanded today. All right, let's just get started. I don't think I need ChatGPT to help me today because we are in Asia and I know more Asia than Africa. When we do Africa, I need my ChatGPT buddy, but we can do it today with Asia. So Cambodia just went imperialist and they go like, you know what? I wanna kill someone, and like everyone's like, whoa. And they're like, you know, Laos, historically, your territory was mine. And then there was no proof. They showed like some fake proof. And Laos is like, no, you're a liar. And then Cambodia is like, you're a communist country and you need to get invaded. You don't deserve to live. And then Laos is like, what the heck? And then they just get a war declaration from them. Some countries that might join this war as well in Cambodia's side would be Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, and like China, because like Cambodia is like surrounded by, I wouldn't say like allies, but like kind of allies. So like these are their allies. Some other allies would be like North Korea. They're not really West-leaning. Also Russia and like Pakistan, Iran, and like a little not too like NATO country, I guess, Turkey. Oh, they're all connected. How beautiful. Would I say any country would join this war? Maybe Thailand would also join this war in the team of Malaysia. And so Laos are like done for. They are, as troops flood in from Cambodia in the south of Laos, and they get close to the Vietnam part. Like they want a bigger border with them if they want to like do something mean, maybe. But they go on and expand, and this is the deepest they go because Thailand is literally at the doorstep of their capital of Vientiane. I did have to search that up. Bear with me. They surround it. They cut this part off. Eventually this part is wiped out, and eventually the capital is captured. And then troops flood in from the west, and Cambodian troops manage to go towards the north, and the capital is gone, and only this is done, and they surrender. And in this peace treaty, Thailand gets a big brain, while Cambodia gets these ugly borders. They look like Cobra waking up from the dead, something like that. They look weird. And they go to sleep for a couple years until they're like, you know what? I want more war. And so they immediately declare war on their like ally, I guess, Vietnam. But this time, I know that the Vietnamese capital is Hanoi. I've known that because of the documentaries. And I know that this is a fictional scenario, so I don't want anyone to get offended because of this, okay? I'm gonna make it look easy, but it was not easy on all the American troops that had to fight over here. It's not easy to cut Vietnam up into two, north and south. And all the communist people in there, like, they get kind of invaded, and like they stop the communism forces first, so it makes them look like a hero. And then a little revolt starts from Ho Chi Minh City, and it starts expanding rapidly, like taking up all of southern Vietnam. But the north does not rebel against the south. The north gets to be invaded. Troops try to get closer to Hanoi, but they aren't really able until they surround the city. And then eventually Hanoi gets captured. Ooh, let's take a look at this peace treaty. Okay, this looks like a communist North Vietnam empire more than a Cambodian empire, but it's gonna get changed really quickly. Here is the peace treaty. Northern Vietnam gets fully annexed into the country, and the southern tip as well, but southern Vietnam, like this South District, got its independence, and it does not stay an ally of Cambodia. They understand that what Cambodia is doing is like pretty messed up, and they've got peace for 10 years, so nothing can happen. But the next thing this messed up country wants to do is invade their ally, Thailand. Oh my god. Myanmar also joined this war because they want more land. Yay. Cambodian troops push from the south and from the west, and the troops from Myanmar like cut the country in half, north from south. But Thailand are like, you know what? This little unstable country is gonna pay for this. So they just say, you know what, Malaysia, I'm coming for you. And then Malaysia's like, oh heck no. So Malaysia's scared AF of what Thailand is gonna do to them, but they just make a huge spearhead over here to cut the country into two, just like they did to them. And then troops from their south, which are loyal to them, not trying to rebel, come here and cut them off over here, and then they wipe them out over there, and they can get all of this territory back. And so troops over here cross the border from here, and the Thai troops get to the gates of Yangon, the capital of Myanmar, and troops advance deeper over here, and they capture the capital. And as everyone pretty much expected, they fall into civil war, but they're already at civil war though. Anyway, here are their blobs, but I think the civil war is just like communists against, I don't know, I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna talk. India was thinking about doing something, but they're not going to because they don't want to be at the doorstep of Thailand, like the aggressor of everything. I mean Cambodia, the aggressor of everything, not Thailand. But Thai troops just decimate literally all the rest of Myanmar. So in this peace treaty, 4 countries get released and they get independence, and they sign a couple of treaties with Thailand, like to be able to connect with one another and like to be able to unite with one another. These treaties, the boring ones. But so 3 countries remain released from Myanmar, or some of you would like to say the older people, Burma, and they revolve around some major cities around, like, you know. But Cambodia are still in bang bang mode, and bang bang they go. They get deeper into the territory of Thailand, even crossing into old Myanmar territory, and they're gonna be doing a badass move surrounding this northeastern Myanmar country, getting territorial access from the People's Republic of China, and then declaring war on this country. That's pretty badass, and then they can grab it pretty quickly. I hate these freaking borders with the colors and stuff. Anyway, they can cross deeper into Myanmar. Myanmar is just dying. They're like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of all these useless countries. I'm invading them. So Cambodia just grabs northern Myanmar and western Myanmar, and western Myanmar signs a treaty with them, and they give them a lot of gold and for exchange of their withdrawal from the territory and for peace, which happens weirdly. Anyways, more troops are flooded into the country, and they make like a big blow to Thailand and like a cutoff, like a surrounding, and then these 2 carrying a lot of troops die. Cambodian troops surround Bangkok, eventually capturing Bangkok, and Cambodia cuts Thailand into 2, north and south, and they get all of their beaches and the inside which is pretty jungly, pretty nice. It eventually surrenders, and the southern part eventually surrenders as well. Oh my god, let's look at this peace treaty. And in this peace treaty, almost all of Myanmar and all of Thailand is annexed into Cambodia. Oh my gosh. But they still are hungry for power. And another country they want to invade is Malaysia. And Malaysia was not expecting this, so troops flood into Malaysia, and they quickly capture the capital of Kuala Lumpur, and they captured the entire western territory of Malaysia. They then declare war on Singapore and annex Singapore as their Hong Kong, you know, like China's Hong Kong. And so that's like their little puppet state, you know, their little developed puppet state. Anyways, troops surrender this island and they land on the island of Borneo. They get deeper into this eastern side, touching Brunei. Brunei does not let them go through them, making them declare war on them. Brunei is devastated because they were a pretty old country. They're not going back to being who they were. And then troops managed to make Malaysia surrender. And in this peace treaty, Cambodia annexed all of the western part of Malaysia. They get Singapore as their Hong Kong, their puppet state. They annex all of this island, and they puppet this eastern part of Malaysia because they want to annex it sooner or later, but it's not stable enough to get annexed into Cambodia. And they also puppet Brunei because they want Brunei to be their puppet as well, but they're not looking to annex Brunei any day. And the next country they're gonna declare war on is Indonesia. Oh my gosh, a pretty complicated war for Cambodia. Troops from northern Borneo, their puppet state, cross the border into southern Borneo, the Indonesian part of Borneo, of the island of Borneo, and they try to capitulate the island, and they eventually manage to cut it in two, and they can wipe it all off the map. But Indonesia funds some rebels over there in the north towards Cambodia, and they try to liberate Singapore, but Singapore does not budge. They used to be part of Indonesia, and they want to be part of Indonesia, but Cambodia figured this would happen, so they set up a pretty good puppet government over there, which wasn't really well set up in Malaysia because all of Malaysia is captured, and then they try to liberate the Thai part, which does not work because hordes and hordes of troops from Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand, and Malaysia storm from the north, capturing everything back, and land on the island of Sumatra. And troops storm in, they're killing literally everything they see, and Sumatra gets wiped off, and then they land in the island of Java. Let me just remind you that Java's got a bigger population than every European country. It's got a bigger population than the biggest country in the world, Russia. So just keep that in mind. Just this measly island. Oh no, that doesn't happen. They try to push in, but they're immediately pushed out, and Java and all of their Indonesian island buddies next to them rebel against Indonesia and therefore against Cambodia to create their own country, like empire of Java, but they're later going to be called Indonesia by me because I can't call them just Java. I'm sorry, Timor-Leste is not included, but they are invited and they do join, so yeah. And so Java managed to sign peace with the rest of Indonesia to abandon Indonesia. They are though forced to include a couple more islands. At the end they look like this, and they sign peace and they go away. Indonesians are not fond of surrendering, but after a lot of fighting and a ceasefire at the end, they surrender to Cambodia. Alright, and in this peace treaty, the island of Sumatra gets directly annexed into Cambodia. Java and this archipelago of island get their independence and ally up with Cambodia, and this archipelago gets set as a puppet state of Cambodia, and Borneo, the island of Borneo, gets annexed into a full puppet state of like its own island, right? Eventually, after like 10 years, we're fast forwarding 10 years, the island gets fully annexed into Cambodia, and these islands finally get their invitation to join the Confederation of Java, and they just become an Indonesia, but a weaker Indonesia. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that Papua New Guinea united with the rest of the island of New Guinea. And then the next thing they do is declare war on the Philippines. People from the Philippines immediately want to fight. The government are like, no, we're gonna sign peace, no fight. But when they see a landing in this island, capitulating the full island, they're like, oh heck no, we're fighting. And so they grab the island back, and as they're more familiar with the region, they make a landing on northern Borneo. But Brunei then offers to help because they're happy they're still independent. So Brunei joins the war, and they help liberate some areas of Borneo. And when Borneo's done, Brunei gets a present from Cambodia, and that is a little territory. But they're forced to stay in the war until the end, so that's what they do. It is a strong and hard war for both sides, even the aggressor. But eventually, the Philippines get decimated by some horrible, mean Cambodian troops, and at the end, all of the Philippines are directly annexed into Cambodia. Oh my god, that's weird. And then Brunei are like, let's join up, buddy. And Cambodia is like, hell yeah. After everything that happened, it would just make sense that they'd unite together. And Brunei is still independent as a state, as a province inside of Cambodia. They then are like, hey, Java, Indonesia, like, I don't know what your name is. Timor-Leste is ours. And Indonesia are like, no, they're ours. They joined our pact, our alliance, our unity. And then Cambodia are like, so either you give Timor-Leste back to us, or we're gonna go to war. And then they're like, oh my god, these Cambodians are only interested in war. We're gonna give them East Timor back. What? Yeah, we're giving them East Timor back. Everyone's like, what the hell? Why? Like, we're not surrendering to this country. We managed to escape them. So East Timor gets pushed out. They're like, East Timor, you are no longer welcome to be in our unity. And they're like, oh heck no. Here is their navy, and they want Timor-Leste to them. So they have to go and they surround the island with their ships. I mean, the area of the island, West Timor, and they declare war on East Timor, Timor-Leste. I need to say Timor-Leste. I speak Portuguese. What the hell? And then troops just invade section of the island, and Timor-Leste surrenders to them. In the peace treaty, they make territory of Timor-Leste. Remember when I talked about South Vietnam? They're like, South Vietnam is kind of communist now. Like, they're remembering their roots from North Vietnam. I think we should declare war on them. And then everyone's like, what the hell are you? Like, is war your best friend? And they're like, yes. So they immediately push in and go deep, and they capture Ho Chi Minh City, and they surround the rest surrenders. And in this peace treaty, Cambodia make it so that all of Vietnam is theirs. This is a pretty country. I mean, if they had all of this, it would have been prettier. Like, look at how pretty it would look like this. But we don't want it to look pretty. We want it to look just as it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this fictional scenario. Now we're gonna draw the flag of Cambodia, and here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the scenario. Please remember that this is a fictional scenario, and I want nobody to get offended by this. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.